Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special meeting of the Utility Commissioners and staff of the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, held today, Wednesday, April 19th, 2023 at 9 a.m. By remote teleconference. My name is Chairman Marissa Gillette, and I am joining virtually today by my colleagues, the Vice Chairman Jack Pekoski and Commissioner Michael Karen. Today is a special meeting from the perspective of the time change. Normally we hold these meetings at 10 a.m. This week we are holding it at 9 a.m., which has been duly noticed with the Secretary of State's office. We are going to proceed into our regular calendar first, on which there are 3 items. The first item on today's regular calendar is docket number 220909, a declaratory ruling regarding a request for a declaratory relief for Telos Clean Energy. We're going to turn to Attorney Patrick Pryor to present the declaratory ruling for the panel's consideration, please.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, Commissioners. In this declaratory ruling, the authority finds that the traditional net metering program administered by Eversource under its Rider N net energy billing service tariff expired by statute and has been superseded for commercial customers by the authority-approved Non-Residential Renewable Energy Solutions Program, otherwise known as NRES. Consequently, Rider N is no longer a valid tariff. Telos Clean Energy, doing business as Telion, submitted its petition requesting that the authority rule that Rider N remains a valid tariff independent from the NRES program and that Telion is eligible to sell energy to Eversource under the Rider N tariffs. The primary issue before the authority is the applicability of a provision of Connecticut General Statute Section 16-243H, the statutory vehicle for traditional net metering, to Telion's request to engage in net metering under Rider N. Specifically, the question before the authority is whether the phrase "until December 31st, 2021" in the statute was intended to sunset traditional net metering under the statute on that date. Telion argues that the December 31st, 2021 termination date does not sunset Rider N, but instead represents the end of the mandatory period during which Eversource was required to provide traditional net metering. In Telion's view, the statute is silent on the post-2021 period. Therefore, Eversource may, but is not required to offer traditional net metering under said statute. Telion's interpretation, while not implausible, is not reasonable. The absence of language regarding the post-2021 period evidences the General Assembly's desire to sunset traditional net metering. Upon review, the authority finds that the plain text of the statute taken into context with other net metering statutes manifests a clear and unambiguous meaning. The General Assembly intended to sunset traditional net metering on December 31st, 2021. Having determined that the text and context of the statute provide a clear and unambiguous meaning, the authority need not consider extra-textual evidence. However, to the extent the text and context of Connecticut General Statute 16-243H create ambiguity, the genealogy and legislative history of the statute leave no doubt that traditional net metering expired on December 31st, 2021. As a result, I respectfully request that the authority adopt this decision as a final decision.
Thank you very much, Attorney Pryor. Is there a motion?
Move adoption, Madam Chairman.
Second.
Thank you. The declaratory ruling has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, I would ask Mr. Bumpin to please take the roll.
Chairman Gillette?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. We will next turn to docket number 230103, PURA's annual review of the rate adjustment mechanisms of the Connecticut Light and Power Company. We have an interim decision before us today, and I'll ask Ms. McDonald to present the interim decision for the panel's consideration, please.
Thank you, Chair Gillette. Good morning, Commission. The authority approves or otherwise modifies the Connecticut Light and Power Company, DBA Eversource Energy, proposed adjustments to its rate adjustment mechanisms for the period of July 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2024. While this interim decision conditionally approves or otherwise modifies the company's proposed adjustments to the non-bypassable federally mandated congestion charge, the transmission adjustment clause, the systems benefit charge, the competitive transition assessment, the electric system improvements tracker, and the revenue decoupling mechanism rate components effective for July 1st, the authority reserves the right to direct any further adjustments to these rates upon completion of its review in this proceeding and will issue a subsequent decision to determine the prudency of the 2022 cost sought for recovery by Eversource. Through the instant proceeding, the authority conducted an initial review of the actual revenues and expenses submitted by Eversource in its March 1st application for calendar year 2022, along with the company's proposed adjustments to the revenue decoupling mechanism rate. The authority also reviewed and considered the known and measurable filing provided on January 13th for the company's proposed non-bypassable federally mandated congestion charge, the transmission adjustment clause, the systems benefit charge, the competitive transition assessment, the electric system improvements tracker, and the revenue decoupling mechanism as submitted in their February 15th and supplemented in their March 15th filing. Finally, the authority examined the company's calculation of carrying charges for the appropriate allowed rate components. The authority is committed to ensuring ratepayers are not subject to the periodic rate adjustments that may result in significant increases in customers' total bills without a full and comprehensive review pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 16-19E, subsections A4. In conducting this review, the authority considered whether proposals submitted by the company provide appropriate protection to relevant public interests, both existing and foreseeable pursuant to the statute. As a result, this interim decision conditionally approves rate adjustments to the non-bypassable federal mandated congestion charge, the transmission adjustment clause, the systems benefit charge, the competitive transition assessment, the electric system improvements tracker, and the revenue decoupling mechanism rate, and directs Eversource to use only the prime rate at the time of its filing to calculate the carrying charges for the rate components that have these charges. I recommend the commission to adopt this decision.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Is there a motion?
I move adoption.
I second.
Thank you. The decision has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, we can take the roll.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. The last item on our regular calendar is docket number 230104. Here is annual review of the rate adjustment mechanisms of the United Illuminating Company. And again, we are here to consider an interim decision in this matter. Ms. McDonald, if you could please present the interim decision for the panel's consideration.
Thank you. The authority approves or otherwise modifies the United Illuminating Company's proposed adjustments to its rate adjustment mechanisms for the period of July 1, 2023 through April 30th, 2024. While this interim decision conditionally approves or otherwise modifies the company's proposed adjustments to the non-bypassable federally mandated congestion charge, the transmission adjustment clause, the systems benefit charge, and the revenue decoupling mechanism rates for July 1st, the authority reserves the right to direct any further adjustments to these rates upon completion of its review in this proceeding and will issue a subsequent decision to determine the prudency of the company's 2022 costs. Through the instant proceeding, the authority conducted an initial review of the actual revenues and expenses submitted by UI in its application on March 1st, along with the company's proposed adjustment to the revenue decoupling mechanism rate, and considered the known and measurable filing provided by the company on January 13th for the other rate components. Again, the authority is committed to ensuring ratepayers are not subject to a periodic rate adjustment that may result in significant increases in customers' bills without a full and comprehensive review. The authority considered whether the proposals submitted by UI provide appropriate protection to relevant public interests, both existing and foreseeable, pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 16-19E, subsection A4. As a result, the authority directs the company to adjust its non-bypassable federal mandated congestion charge and the transmission adjustment clause rate, and approves the proposed systems benefit charge and the revenue decoupling mechanism rate components effective July 1st, 2023 through April 30th of 2024. I recommend the commission to adopt this decision.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Is there a motion?
Move adoption, Madam Chairman.
And second.
Thank you. The decision has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, I'd ask Mr. Bumpin to please take.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. That completes our regular calendar. We'll turn next to our consent calendar, in which there are 12 items. Is there a motion?
I move adoption of today's consent calendar.
I second it, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Today's consent calendar has been regularly moved and seconded. I do want to take a moment to recognize the work of EOE, who has moved forward a number of substantive items on today's consent calendar, particularly with respect to the small cells and licensing of our renewable energy source applications. So thank them for their work as always. And Mr. Bumpin, if we can take the roll for the consent calendar, please.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The consent calendar has been adopted in full. I believe that brings us to the end of today's special meeting. We will adjourn. We will reconvene next Wednesday, April 26th at 10 a.m. Our normal time, and we will conduct that regular meeting by remote teleconference. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate everyone's time, and we are adjourned.